Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and this is week 10 and episode 10 of On the Tube, so I'm here to talk about the different shows that I've been watching over the past week, and one that I actually forgot to talk about last week, despite the fact that it had finished the week before, was Dave on FX, now being played on Hulu as well. And I didn't know who Little Dicky was, and Dave Bird, but I started watching the show. I thought it was really funny. Like, obviously, it's pretty lowbrow humor, but I laughed a lot. He himself, he's very funny. His rapping was really enjoyable. It's very clever. And how the show is set up with this weird group of people surrounding him dealing with his relationship issues, his insecurities, him and his friends, and the positions that they have now that he's trying to break out as this rapper. And they had some fun commentary on the music industry. They had fun commentary on relationships. And honestly, I felt for him and his girlfriend and really wanted to see where things were going and if they would work out. And it left me enough interested to see what happens in the next season. I just have a lot of fun watching this show. Is it the best show? No. But FX does some great work, and they found a show that's really funny. And it's not like Breeders where it really balances that dark humor and real tragedy really well. This show dabbles in the more human elements, and they work pretty well, but it's just really funny. And obviously, humor is subjective. If you're not into gross out, lowbrow kind of humor, you're probably not going to enjoy this, but there are parts that are pretty clever and dark. And I would definitely recommend Dave. I also watched the season finale of Westworld last Sunday, and I don't know, this season really didn't do it for me. And they try to set the show up where it's like you're really supposed to feel for these hosts, the robots. And I just have a really hard time rooting for them, and it might be a personal bias for myself, but now so much of the show this season really tried to focus on them so much and really sideline some really like top tier characters from the show, like the Man in Black. Bernard honestly was pretty sidelined in this season as well. And like, I don't feel for Dolores. I kind of like Maeve. I do. And then they introduced Vincent Cassel's character, Sirach, and Aaron Paul's character. And I appreciated the fact that they shook things up and put in the real world and are trying different things. It's just, I appreciate this show more than I like this show and enjoy it. There's a lot of mystery, there's a lot of twists and turns, it'll keep you on edge, there's some cool action, but like, I never really felt for it. So the action wasn't as poignant. The mystery, honestly, is what's driving it, and it's more of like a curiosity and less of I'm hooked and I'm excited to see how these play out because of these characters. No, it's more of the puzzle box kind of thing, especially because like this is written by Jonathan Nolan. I appreciate it more that way and I don't really feel emotionally connected to this show anymore. And the second season did a lot in on that, but definitely this season felt a little hollow. And overall, it's some really cool, well-planned, thought-out science fiction, but like, it doesn't really hit. And didn't hit where I was hoping it would hit, so I kind of felt lukewarm to it. So, do you really want to spend the time on Season 3 of Westworld? I would say it's up in the air. I got to watch this Belgian Netflix series Into the Night, and it's like a 6-episode little series focusing on this, like the sun killing people, and these people stuck on a plane, and it has high tension. It's fun genre kind of film, but I never really felt for these characters. It pulled a little bit of loss, like at the beginning of each episode, it took us back and showed us a little bit of the backstory to these characters also on a plane. So it didn't feel the freshest, but, you know, it felt like that cheesy B movie kind of feel to it, and if you're going to enjoy the thrills, it has enough of that. Upload on Amazon. I've heard a lot of people compare this to the good place. And I don't really think that's totally fair because, yes, they do talk about faith and where you go after death. I feel like this show focuses way more on technology and the parody of technology and the satire of technology and where human life is with technology than it does the actual thought of an afterlife and being a good person. And honestly, the show feels more plot driven where it's really focusing on this guy who gets uploaded into this program instead of dying, and his girlfriend makes that executive decision despite the fact that I don't think, like, you don't really think he likes her that much. And then he falls in love with his angel, the person working for this company who works through AI to support these people uploaded in here. It's a lot of fun. It's clever. It gets really dark. There's some serious tonal issues throughout this show. And there's some points where it really doesn't work well or mesh well, but I'm intrigued. I don't know where things go. And actually, I really fell for this relationship budding between Robbie Amell, who plays our main character, and this young woman who works for this company that is supposed to be supporting him. They have great chemistry, and I really enjoy them. I enjoy that, and it's also funny. And they have some great gags in terms of, like, technology, and like I said, it's more about technology than it is about the afterlife, I feel like. Despite the fact there are some plot points, especially with her father making the religious choice of, like, I believe in something, I don't want to go here. And Upload's a pretty cool show. I'm interested to see where they go with the second season, if they expand upon it and build upon it. But for now, I really enjoyed the first season, and that last episode is quite a stinger and leaves you on the edge of your seat for a second season. Then I watched Trying on Apple TV, and it's about a couple, Rafe Spall, and trying to remember the actress's name, but it's a British show, and they want to have kids, but she can't, so they want to adopt. And it's like an 8-episode series about them trying to go through that process of wanting to adopt, and it's emotional. I believed in the relationship. I felt connected with these two characters, and Imelda Staunton, who's like Dolores Umbridge from Harry Potter. She's the person who's helping them with their case. She's a lot of fun in a supporting role, but it's like this couple really carries the show, their chemistry, the charisma of the two actors, and I really felt for them. And despite the fact that it's pretty cliched, you know where this is going, it plays on familiar beats, but they bring enough energy and heart to it that I really felt for them. And there are some really powerful moments in the show. I would definitely recommend Trying. Try out Trying. Horrible. Prop culture. I got so excited about this, and this is not going to be like a full-fledged like review into the quality of this. If you love movies and you love the behind the scenes, the props, how things worked, and seeing the connection that people involved in their projects have, check this out on Disney+. There's episodes for major films, and you get to see the props, you get to see some of the actors and the crew. You looking at those items for the first time in a long time, and Rick Moranis is in the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids episode. Christopher Lloyd's in the Who Framed Roger Rabbit. There's a Muppets movie episode, and it's just so heartwarming and special. And if you love movies, check out Prop Culture. Speaking of Disney Plus, with May the 4th last week, I got into some Star Wars. I'm in the process of watching the first season of Rebels, so I'll probably talk about that next week. But I watched the first season of Clone Wars, and it's very child-focused at times. The childish humor is really bad, especially the droids. God, I hate them. And it's very jumbled in how it transitions from story to story. It's like, meanwhile, on the other side of the galaxy, and it just like drops you and it's like, here's some quick exposition. But what I really appreciate about this show is you get to really see a deeper dive into these different Jedi Masters that, as a lifelong Star Wars fan, you don't really get to see in the films of the prequels, and you get to spend some time with these different Jedi Masters and build connections with them. They flesh out Anakin a lot more. He's a lot less insufferable. And Ahsoka who's his Padawan, which is like, I've never seen the Clone Wars animated movie, so I guess that might have caused some issues with me feeling dropped into this, but I'm enjoying her relationship and her growing, and especially with the finale of that show coming out and it really resonating with people, I'm glad I'm starting to join this journey. And then Dead to Me Season 2. From Adam McKay and Will Ferrell produced this. Christina Applegate and Linda Cardellini kill this show. See what I did there? But they have great charisma, great chemistry together, and I believe every second of their rocky friendship, and like I believe their characters so thoroughly that they're so committed to these characters. I feel them on screen. Their relationships with everybody. The second season picks up on a very dark turn at the end of the first season and adds some complication. James Marsden's back as a twin brother, and Linda Cardellini's character is really exploring her sexuality and trying to find a connection with somebody who appreciates her for her. It's not abusive. Confronting her mother. There's some fun additions to the cast in this season, and overall, I hooked on this. It might get a little too melodramatic at times and a little too over the top and a little convenient, but I forget that pretty quickly because I feel so invested in these characters, and the emotion and the performances at the center really make this a great show. A lot of great TV to watch, and this is my last on the tube in my present setup because I'm going to be moving next weekend. So my hope is that things will be set up by Sunday so I can make my first episode of On the Tube and my new reviews in my new space. So, and get new soft boxes as my lights broke. And I've been doing this with natural light because I wanted to wait until after I moved. But the last couple weeks I've been mentioning the idea of having my Beyond the Wasteland, so if you have any ideas for different kinds of topics and bigger topics that are not movie and TV related that you want me to talk about, not politics, but like music or reading or different kinds of stuff like that, leave it down. Sports, pro wrestling. I'm a pro wrestling fan. I love baseball. I love football. Different kinds of things hitting on, and video games hitting on my different interests. If you guys are interested, so leave comments below. But leave comments. Let's talk about any of these wonderful shows that I watched this week, and let's talk some movies and TV. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.